We will be talking about making best out of the data and leverage that data and analytics for technical efficiency as well as user experience. So this is what we are going to cover today. We will talk about how SRE model works for VMC, which is a product that we support, and the automation platform that we have and its scale, and the various services that we have built using this data and data that we have and data that we collect to solve some of the reliability problems and the challenges that we have faced and we are still facing, and few takeaways. Okay. So this is the cloud infrastructure that we have and that we support in VMware. And all of this we support under the hood called VMC. Here we support multiple cloud operations, cloud services, and so VMware supports cloud in AWS, Google Cloud, and all other cloud providers, and it hides it under the hood in the name of VMC, where our users are not required to maintain each of the cloud services individually, but just having VMC, and that would support the cloud infrastructure hiding under the hood. So as most of our software infrastructure today is multi-cloud, it is very essential for every IT team to have their products put in the multi-cloud infrastructure. And that's the problem that VMware solves for its customers. Now, we, the SRE team for VMC, have to support the reliability of our customer infrastructure, which is deployed under each of these cloud providers, and give a seamless operations and the infrastructure and a reliable infrastructure. So our infrastructure, while most of the infrastructure scales vertically, like you add storage, network, and all other things, our infrastructure scales horizontally. We okay, so yeah. Okay, so we are talking about scalability here, and our infrastructure scales horizontally. We have to add entire set of networking, compute, and storage for a different customer. And each of these configurations are different, and the cloud providers also could be different. One of the customer might be hosting their entire SDDC in AWS, and another, and the same customer can have a SDDC, say, in Google Cloud or Oracle Cloud. And we have to, the VMC conceptually has to support all of these operations smoothly for our customers. So when we have such a multi-cloud environment, this is a solution that we have, which we call it as automation platform. So we have an infrastructure product inbuilt in-house to solve this problem of dealing with infrastructure with multiple cloud providers and with multiple services running in each of these cloud providers. So we allow our users to run automations across the cloud providers and across multiple SDDCs. We manage incidents that come in, say from multiple alerting sources, and we provide an infra to run automations based on the incoming incidents, and we provide an operational view where users can run automations. They can check the health of the system and log into a customer infrastructure seamlessly without using credentials, using the single sign-on and the RBAC policies that are set for the user. And all of this, while supporting all of this, we also have to support it across multiple cloud providers, and which is a challenging task, actually. So this is how we do it. We integrate, we stand in the middle of the customer infrastructure and the infrastructure services that VMware provides for multi-cloud customer environment. And we hook into these systems like monitoring tools like Wavefront or observability tools like Wavefront, PagerDuty for on-call, and then Jira, that is for incident creation, and health metrics, upgrade systems that we have built in-house, and the provisioning systems. So we hook into these data sources, read the data from all of these things, and then run automations accordingly. So if there is an incident that is happening in the system, then the automations are automatically configured before. Like whenever the incident occurs for the first time, a user actually debugs, or our SRE team actually debugs, they build automation, they actually write a run book to solve it. And later on, we spend our time to automate all of these tasks and push it out to the automation platform. And the automation platform is responsible to run these automations later on, if at all, whenever we see a similar alert or incident that is occurring. So we hook into the incident creation platform, that is Jira, and we hook into our observability platform, that is Wavefront and PagerDuty, and automatically resolve the incident for our users. And along with this, we have various different services that are run as a part of automation platform, and we have a unified UI that provides access to all of these services based on the RBAC model that our users have. So this is a screenshot from Wavefront, where you see that a lot of data has flown into this, and there are a lot of triggers and there are a lot of lines there. Now, how do you make most out of this data, and how do you actually utilize it to drive reliability and reduced MTTR? Right? We can actually detect anomalies and create alert based on the anomalies in Wavefront. What we do is we hook into this alert data and the APIs, and then consume these alerts to run automations on top of these alerts, so that incident is resolved even before it actually makes it into Jira. And Jira, when I say Jira, that's the platform that we use for incident creation. Now, if at all there is an incident that skipped this, like it was not able to resolve, then the on-call engineer gets into play. But even before the on-call engineer gets into play, we run something called auto triage. That is probably a log collection that could help on-call engineer to get more inferences, or probably show the right set of matrices or the dashboards and all of these things. So not just that, we have a lot other data. While we do all of this, we have a lot of other data that is coming into our system, and we utilize it to build more reliable services, or services that helps us increase the reliability of our customer infrastructure. Now I let Muskan talk about all of these services and how actually all of these services work with the data that we have.
Hello. Hope I'm audible. Hi, I'm Muskan, and I'll take you to the insight. I'll give you the insights, like where are we using this data? We already have the incident data. We are from automation platform team. We perform automation. Now, how do we use this data? So we have one of the major incident that occurs here is an outage, be it a rack-wide outage or a AZ-wide outage. It can always take or can result in SLA breach or MTTRs, and as well as it can take a lot of manual efforts to do triaging and remediation. So this is where the service, Outage Management Service, comes into the picture. It is an amazing service. It has been trained on past incident data. It is ML based, and the most amazing thing it does is it does the auto triaging by itself It takes all the incidents that are occurring as a part of an outage, correlates that data, and it gives you a bird eye view of an outage so that we can analyze the impact radius of an outage. Again, another important thing, auto remediation. So as part of auto remediation, while an outage is occurring, it goes into the impacted services and runs the health probe. So that as in when a person is looking into the outage and an incident, we can have that remediation already running for it. So things are already happening behind the hood. And it also engages the stakeholder as part of the process of having reduced MTTR. This is one probe that we have, which uses past data and analytics. Another probe that we have is called scan and patch. So in brief, what it does is it scans the customer infrastructures for drifts in configuration items. Whenever it detects it, it automatically goes and patches those. So it's sort of a sense and react system. So drifts are very easy to locate in this way. And again, analytics. So how do we use the telemetry data from this service? So initial data collection is done. We can identify the drift impact radius with this. And we get to know when, why, and how these drifts are occurring with that data. And using that data, we can enforce configuration standards, as well as we can send some sort of guidelines to the customer infrastructure to maintain certain standards of configurations. Being from an automation platform team, everything for us boils down to a script execution. So every small thing to an atomic level is a script. So it's very important to have script execution, analytics, and driving and gaining insights. How our scripts are working, how do we maintain the life cycle of our scripts. So as you can see, we have around thousands of scripts and tens and millions of executions every month and daily as well. So it's important for us to know the script popularity, to see which scripts are popular and why is it popular. Is it a script that is a workaround script? So can we use this data to do a product improvement? One more thing that we take away from this analytics is a success and failure rates of scripts. If a script is failing multiple times in last time frame, then we need to have a look into it. We need to have improvements over these scripts. Again, this helps us seeing the whole view of a script. It tells us when is our script rotting, when we are going to deprecate it. And since we have internal teams as a collaborators for this pool of scripts, as in when our new collaborators onboards, we use this analytics to know if someone new is coming, and we can send them collaboration guidelines so that we can maintain certain coding standards as well. Here you see our plethoras of microservices. I think we have missed 2 or 3 dots here and there, but yeah, these are the microservices we are managing, and we have one UI as a single glass of pane view to interact with the services, to manage the executions and the things like that. And since from this UI, we project n numbers of customer impacting features. So again, we use analytics for that as well, to identify the features, the feature usage. What we do is, we collect the telemetry data and event data for the UI, and we use that data to generate insightful reports. And how we use these reports is, we get to know the feature utilization. We have n numbers of features, and we get to know what are our more popular features or most used features, and using that we can use that data to do performance improvements. If a feature is not used, we can always look into why it's not used, or if we can make it better. we have different providers, as Renisha already mentioned. So these different providers may have some preferred set of features that are in this UI, in this lake of features. So UX personalization is something what we do with this analytics, since we have the data to what set of users or what cloud providers are using what kind of features the most. So we can have user personalization that can significantly reduce the toil and their journey in the UI. And also we have very regular interactions with our customer infrastructure. And this calls for security and compliance reasons, this calls for auditability. With this, we can do it seamlessly. Okay. So I already told you that we have internal teams using using the UI, using our services. So we get huge inflow of queries on Slack Assist channel. And that too, like even writing about thousands of documents, nobody goes through them ever, or nobody cares to find them. I mean, it's tough, we can understand. So we have this amazing Slackbot. So what it does is, it understands users' intention behind the query. It uses something called as context-aware vector embeddings, and using that, it can provide very accurate and precise solutions to our users. And again, it reduces the toil, it reduces the MTTR. Okay, and additional thing that we do for the Slackbot is, we collect the telemetry data for it. And you ask why? Because we get to know what are the improvement factors, or what are the runbook improvements that we need, because of like, we can take the data, how many users have asked for this runbook and haven't got it. So we can use this data to take that information out and do some improvements over it. So these were the few use cases that we use data collection, or we do data collection and perform analytics and take the value out of it. But although using analytics for SRE operations is extremely helpful, but unlike gardens by the bay, this garden is not always green. So there are some challenges. The most major challenge that we have faced is the data quality. How do we maintain the data quality? How do we dodge data inconsistency and data bias? Because shit in, shit out, right? So there has to be some way. There has to be some way. And another challenge I would say is data storage. And along with it, the retention period. What should be the retention period for the data? There has to be a sweet balance between those, so that you can get the best value out of it. And unlike our chocolate glazed sweet donut, telemetry is never enough. You would always want more. You would always want more to generate those more accurate solutions, more precise solutions. So yeah, these are a few takeaways for you. Analytics should be a building block for every service that helps SRE, because it should be considered at the very early phases of team formation or building any kind of services that helps SRE in any way. And if you have the right data, you can build some system that can always or almost take right decisions for you at almost all the times. And it's also important to handle the data with care. Thank you. That will be it. And we are open for questions.